Welcome to Architrave Gaming. I'm the Archmaster. I'm here to tell you how to play the Arch game, which is a combination of 4 types of immersion, which we're not getting into now. But the topic of today's short talk, which I'm incapable of doing, so it might be very long, is the plot, the adventure. Players, have you ever wanted to go on an epic adventure? Have you ever wanted to go through a series of encounters that built upon each other in a dramatic fashion, defeating stronger and stronger opponents and leveling up your own skills as you play, that culminated in this epic boss fight of magnificent proportions against a big bad guy? Well, then you should really get on that, because that's entirely your job. It is not your game master's job, what is rightly called your arbiter. It is not your arbiter's job to ensure that you have any sort of epic plot, any sort of satisfying emotional beats, or any sort of cool combats or big bad guy. It is entirely your job. Because why? Here's the good thing about it, right? When there's a problem and you accept full responsibility, it means you're the one that gets to fix it. So it's a good thing that it's your job because you get to fix it. You get to make an epic plot, right? That's what this video is about. It is entirely your job to make your plots. Why? How? How do you do this? You know, Archmaster, is it my job to create some sort of storyline, an epic plot that makes us all do stuff? Like, isn't that the game master's job? Well, first of all, there's no game master. Secondly, if there was a game master, yes, it would be you, the players. Your arbiter is just an arbiter. You are in charge of the actual game and what happens at the game. It is entirely on your shoulders. So, but no. You don't have to actually plan anything out with any sort of story. At least, you don't have to plan it in any sort of meta sense. These things will happen. I, as the player above the table, have decided, right? No one should be doing that. Not your arbiter, not you. What you should be doing is making in-character plans. You know, the whole idea of plotting? Yes, you should really do some plotting. You should sit there like a proactive evil villain, although you can be a very proactive good guy, and sit there and plot. What do I want? Well, I think I want new weapons, new armor, equipment, perhaps a flame-tongued sword. Yes, I shall also need retainers. I shall need bodyguards. What I have planned will be quite devastating for the gnomes. They'll have to be dealt with. Diplomacy? Perhaps. I know a succubus, but I'll have to contact her from one of the hells. Maybe the mages will help me with this. I should really get on this. Party members, what do you want to do? Right? That's what you ought to be doing. Plotting. And your other fellow players and their characters, through their characters, will also be plotting. Why? Plotting based on what? Why? Why would I want to do any of these things, Archmaster? Because you actually put in the work in character creation to create interesting, compelling character motives. Things that actually motivate you to act, right? Stuff like, you know, conflicts, hatreds, loves, passions, anything, any sort of goal that makes you actually want to do something in the world, and not sit there passively in the tavern until a hooded figure comes to you and offers you a job with a sum of money you can't refuse, and then you go on the GM's little predetermined plot adventure because you're a passive player that just needs daddy to hold your hand and put you on a fun kiddie ride. No, we're not doing that. This is the Arch game. This is where we teach you to be a big boy and put on your own shoes and walk your own path. And it's a lot more fun. It really is. It's not just fun. It's rewarding. It's magnificent. It's very good. And it's also easy for your arbiter because they don't have to do all the work for you anymore. All right, so a really useful tool, very useful tool to help you do this is a good setting. Because how in the world are you going to have character motives? Oh yes, I want to talk to the gnomes, and I want to get the flame tongue, and I want to talk to the succubus, etc. Well, all of these things aren't in my power. I can't just make these, right? Well, no, you can't just make them. I mean, you can want them to be there and talk to your arbiter about it, and that's fine, but you can't just decide all of this on your own. Things should always submit to the setting that the arbiter is presenting. So, what you need, again, the thing that would be very helpful in helping you do this, is a good setting, a fully fleshed out setting. Again, this is the linchpin, this is the first quadrant of the entire Arch game experience. You have to have a fully fleshed out setting so that the player characters, among other things, as mentioned in previous videos, can plot, can plan, can create their own motives. Arbiter, you have to make a fully fleshed out setting, or use one of ours, which, again, by this time may or may not be released. We'll see. Anyway, you have to have a fully fleshed out setting. All the gnomes, all the people, everything, all the creatures there. You, as the player and as the character, because again, diegesis unifies you, you must know about these things and have motivations and plots and whatnot that actually integrate with these things. You must have an opinion about the gnomes and the mages and the succubus, and you must have desires. Yeah, I want to rule this kingdom, right? If you don't know anything about the kingdom, and you haven't actually made a character that's integrated into the world and has wants and desires and fears and hatreds, etc., because emotion motivates, and people are a great source of emotion. So really, people motivate. That's a kind of a hack for you. If you want to find a motivation for your character, find a person and find some sort of emotion. Those two things very, very well motivate. Anyway, you can't really do that unless you are very well integrated into the world, and that your character is integrated into the world. Again, you and your character are the same in this context. And so, once you do that, once you have a fully fleshed out world, and Arbiter, this is kind of on you to present the world, whether you make it yourself or you have me do it for you, you have to give them a fully fleshed out world, present it to them, and then encourage them and work with them to actually make a character that lives in the world and that comes from the world and is completely tied to the world. Something kind of like Dragon Age Origins, right? If you know anything about that, you don't just make some faceless Skyrim character that walks over a hill and is like, oh, I just got here. Okay. Like, that's fun for player freedom, and a certain amount of that Skyrim faceless character is fun and is warranted, but what I'm talking about here is the more fully integrated Dragon Age Origins type of character, where you are already in the world, you're a part of the world, you're the son of a duke, or you're, whatever. You care about the world, you have integrations, you have a family history, etc. It doesn't have to get into the weeds, it doesn't have to be stupid, but you have to absolutely care, right? Your character has to have completely non-negotiable motivations and feelings and opinions about the world, right? And my own game system, which I think I'm titling Arches of Absalom, it has spaces for all of this. It has spaces for your motives. It has spaces for your character motivations, your personality, all that kind of stuff. So things decided by fate, all sorts of cool things. So on the character sheet, it actually has all of these lists here, so you can very easily remember what your motives are and roleplay them, right? And you actually get in-game mechanical benefits for roleplaying them if that's something your GM wants to give you, but it's there. Anyway, a fully fleshed out setting is required. Build your characters fully integrated into the world, into the setting. Give them motives. Like, you get to act. This is your part. You get to come up with things that you want to do. Haven't you ever been thinking about, an RPG game, which, again, don't exist, but haven't you ever been thinking about an RPG and thinking, oh, wow, something I've never gotten to do in an RPG is dragon riding, or conquering a nation, or going to, another plane of existence, or just anything. Hasn't there ever been a goal where you've really wanted to do that in a way that felt real? Like, the GM actually presented it authentically, not like, all right, cool, you step through a portal, you're in the Nine Hells. I was like, well, that's boring, right? Haven't you ever wanted to actually feel like you were there? It's like a bucket list. You go on a road trip. Like, isn't that something you've wanted to do? Right? Put those in your character motives. I want to do this. Talk to your Arbiter. I want to have these things happen. And he may say, hey, planar travel isn't fit for this, setting. Have any other ideas? And you're like, yeah, well, I've always wanted to, climb the tallest mountain, or kill a king, or etc., right? All sorts of things, right? This is up to you. This is where you get to shine, players. Players, this is where you get to actually fulfill your dreams. Like, that's the whole point of fantasy and escapism, is I want to pretend to be someone else that's doing something so much more interesting than anything I can do in real life. This other character who is so much cooler than I am and is doing awesome things. That's who I want to be. That's it. Easy. Pick those awesome things that you want him to do, and then do them. Pursue them in the world, right? In a consistent setting, because that solves a lot of other problems. Anyway, thank you all for liking and subscribing, for joining my Discord server, for giving me money on Patreon. It's only $5. And for being otherwise kind and friendly individuals. You'll have a good evening. Thank you for watching. God bless.